All right, Coach. Thanks for giving us a little bit of time this afternoon. Flames signed 14 new recruits earlier today, including 9 that will join us in the spring. Talk to us a little bit about the focus for this recruiting class, and we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, well, it's a great day, for our program. Anytime you can sign a class the way that we did today. I thought our coaches did a nice job of spreading out. We got guys from a bunch of different states, but there's obviously a lot of needs. Guys you're losing, guys you're trying to replenish a certain area, whether that's by a side of ball or individually. We did a good job of identifying needs, and then I also think finding the best fits for us. And so one of our goals, this was our first year coming off of the Fiesta Bowl. So the previous class was all you were recruiting them off of a vision. And in this class, they got to see it lived out. They got to see what it was about. And so we felt like we really had a chance to get some, high-level quality players that want to be a part of what we're building here in our program. And so there's a lot of excitement around that. Really thankful that we're bringing in mid-year guys. You need as many of those as you can with the way college football is today. But a lot of needs, and we're still not done. I think you'll still see us going after some more here. Signing date lasts through the 6th, and then there's a junior college signing date that goes up through the January, and obviously we're in the portal as well. And so we still got some opportunities to bring in some more, but I think this class gives us a great nucleus, a great foundation. Obviously we had 6 people on defense that we're able to bring in, and then the rest there obviously on offense. And again, we're still working to bring in some more immediate impact guys, but we feel this is a class that can help set ourselves up for some long-term success.
Brought in 4 defensive linemen. That seems to be obviously a position in need. Was that by priority for you guys?
Yeah, I think up front's always a priority. On both sides of the ball, right? Defensive line for sure. Typically you can find some defensive linemen that can play early as well. We've seen that in the past with guys bringing in. So I think there's some guys here that young men that are here that have the chance to come in and contribute. We're always losing guys there, and you can never have enough good quality defensive linemen. As you saw this year, we played a couple redshirt freshmen that got a lot of playing time, and Coach McGee does an outstanding job of developing. And so that was a big need and also a want. Like, hey, let's continue to develop. Even if maybe we're only taking 2 or 3, and we found another good one, we're going to take another good one, because you never have enough good players up there. And we feel really good about those 4 that we're bringing in there from that standpoint. They'll fit all those positions. Some guys that can be some combos, some guys that can be ends, doing some different things there.
Coach, the run game is obviously such an important part of your offense. So you lose Cooley, you got a couple guys in the transfer portal already, but you have 2 additions here. Talk to me about the overall state of that room kind of going into the offseason with what you already have.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously losing, you're losing two good players that played quite a bit between Quentin and Billy, and James, a good player, decided to go in the portal. And so we knew what we were losing going in. That's why you saw us sign 2 backs. And then we'll have to supplement that room a little bit from a depth standpoint. We got a good young nucleus coming back as well. Some guys that have played, some guys that haven't, that we're really excited on. But the 2 that we signed, one from Georgia, one from Louisiana. Jalen can really go. Jalen's going to be an A back in our program and can really run. And does an outstanding job out of the backfield. So somebody that we believe will bring us some home run speed. And then Mal's a combo of both. Mal is a physical runner, can run through the tackles, but has the speed to take the distance. He's a special player, and so Coach Isaac does a really nice job of identifying the needs there. And so we'll definitely go after some older guys, maybe 1, potentially 2, to help fill the depth that we need there. But I think with our running back class since we've been here, as far as from the freshman ranks, we've improved every year as far as the type of quality we're bringing in, and these 2 are really, really good.
How about the quarterback, Ethan? You guys seem to get him kind of early in the process for him, and seems like his senior year had a really good year, and kind of recruiting blew up, I would imagine.
Yeah, Ethan was sort of hidden, because he played at a smaller school. They don't throw the ball a lot. And Ethan's like the way I wish I looked. He looks like a Greek god, I mean, looks really good. And he's a physical guy. Loves football, loves the Flames. Like he was completely sold out for Liberty University, and not a lot of people were on him early, and then and then more and more people found out about him, but he stuck through with us. And he's a guy that can physically do all the things that you'd love for your quarterback to do, and from throwing, from running. Like I said, a big guy, and so we're excited about him and his progress and really his ceiling. I think he's got a lot of untapped potential, and he's got an unbelievable work ethic. So excited to see Coach Korn and Coach Dixon work with him and get him in a program. I think he's got a great future ahead of him. But he's just a great character, young man, and I think he's going to be a leader of men. I believe that, and that's what you want from your quarterback position. You need somebody that leads, and I think that's somebody that our guys will gravitate to.
How have you had to change your approach in recruiting in terms of like what you're looking for out of those, high school guys versus what you're getting in the portal? Is it by position that you're focusing a little bit more on one or the other?
I don't know if your approach doesn't necessarily change. You're looking for quality young people of character that love football. I think it's most important than anything. They got to love football nowadays with the different money and all the different things. You got to make sure they love that. And then you're looking for that right fit. Right now, you're always planning, hey, we're losing seniors, so the natural thing is, hey, you're losing seniors, you're placing more freshmen. Well, it's different now because if you need somebody to help you immediately, then you got to go after some older guys, and whether that's junior college or portal. So you're always looking at your roster, at least and from what we're trying to do. I'm looking at it a 2 or 3 year deal. Hey, what happens in 2 years? So if you notice in here, we didn't sign a linebacker in this class, but we signed a linebacker late in the summer this past year, really for this class. So he's already here, right? And so that was one of those things as you're looking 2 years ahead. So you're always trying to look at and manage that, and it's harder because somebody leaves when you don't think they're going to leave, but you just you hopefully you bring some quality people in there. But we're always, what's the best fit for where we're at in this program, what this university needs to help us, continue to build our program, and who wants to be here. I think that's very important. Who wants to be here for the right reasons, and then you try to anticipate as much as you can on who's leaving, and who might not be, and then the ones that surprise you, you adapt and adjust.
When you guys are going through the process of anticipating who might be leaving or having conversations throughout the season, how much does that impact what you target in the high school ranks, and maybe seeing needs that pop up and realize you might want to plug those with more immediate ready-made transfers?
Yeah, the high school ones are more of, hey, we know we're losing these set of seniors, right? Hey, we're losing we knew you're losing a quarterback, we're going to replace it with a quarterback. We're losing 2 running backs, we knew we were going to replace it with 2 high school running backs. Then it's the other ones that pop is when you decide, hey, we're going portal here or we're going junior college here, somebody that's played before. But our high school was all based off of what we know we're losing, and hey, we want to replace those guys. Then the portal and some of those junior colleges get in there with, if we know we're losing Quentin Cooley, and Billy, do we have somebody here immediately or enough people here immediately that can take up that position and the number of carries and all those things? And so then that's how you try to adjust. Hey, do we feel good about what we have currently? If we don't, maybe we need to bring somebody in older until those young guys get ready. The biggest position usually like that is O-line. O-line takes a little while for guys to develop. And so you feel really good about young guys in your program. Are they ready to play right now? And if they're not, then you got to bring somebody in that can play immediately while those young guys still figure out how to play. A lot of other positions, young guys can play right away, but there's some that are hard. It's hard to play quarterback right away. And it's very hard unless you're just something special because it's different. And so, I always have to have a plan on those positions that are hard to play as a freshman. And if you're not ready there, if you don't have the proper people in place or they've just not made the proper development yet, then you got to always try to plug and play until that gets there. You'd love to get to the point where you're recruiting and you've been able to build a roster where you lose somebody and you've had somebody sort of in the wings and it flows and you don't have to constantly be, bringing people in that are older. Unfortunately, with our level and where we're at, you're always going to be a feeder system, and so you just have to have a plan for that.
Coach, can tape of a student athlete, whether it be JUCO transfer or whatever, high school senior, can a tape you watch settle your gut on, yes, okay, we think he's a athletically talented enough, or getting them on campus to camps during the summer, or even traditional where your coaches go in and see them live? How much does tape settle a gut, or do you need more than that?
I think if you ask everybody, they'd love to see them with their eyes more so than the videotape, because you can see a lot on videotape, but most of the time, everybody's putting a highlight tape together. I mean, we could put a highlight tape together of Ed, and everybody think he was a heck of a player, right? And so you want to dig into game tape, but the more you can be around somebody and see how they compete, more importantly, how do they respond to adversity? How does a quarterback respond to an interception? What's he like on the sideline? Or how does a running back respond to a fumble, or a defensive back to getting beat deep? Those are things nobody puts on their game tapes or their highlights. But the more you can see them in settings where they're competing, I think it's better. So ideally, you want to see them on a camp. You'd love to see them practice, or love to see them in a game. And then obviously you got the video to back that up. Sometimes you don't get to see them at camps, and so just because maybe you go to some and they're not there, or they don't go to the camps. So, and you want to work as much as you can to see eyes on them. Hopefully all these guys will hit, and they're all tremendous. We've seen them all at either a camp or with our own eyes and the video. So you feel pretty good about the talent. Now, do they have the qualities that you can't see? Do they have the intangible pieces that they love it? They're going to compete. They're going to work everything they can to be the best version of themselves. We feel they do. But until they get in that adversity, and until somebody's better than them, all these guys are really good. Nobody's better than them at their school. When they're going to come here, everybody's pretty good, right? And so how they respond to that, how they respond to being home, away from home for the first time. There's a lot of things that go into that from a growth standpoint, and you got to work them through that. And hopefully they've got enough to them to where if it's not going the way they want to right away, they keep plugging, they keep striking, and then when it clicks, man, you've really got some, really good quality young men and quality football players.
We saw the social media video on most of these guys. Do you anticipate most of them getting here in January?
9 of them are,
Okay.
out of 14. I believe that's right, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right on that, Todd? 9. So that's tremendous. You want as many as you can. If it was all 14, I'd take all 14. Some go to private schools; they can't graduate mid-year. That's just part of some of those things. Some want to be home with mom a little bit longer. Nothing wrong with that. Some play another sport; they want to be, help win a state championship. There's nothing wrong with that. But the 9 that are here, that's a great jump start for them. Football-wise, obviously, they get acclimated, but really just more so being away from home, acclimating away from home. Education, you get a great jump start on that, and so there's a lot of benefit of coming early, and those guys will be needed. It'll be good to see them, and they get so many reps in the spring, and a chance to get into your program. And when you come in the spring, there's no pressure, there's no depth chart. You're not trying to really earn a starting job because everybody's in the same. Everybody's getting quality reps, and so they get a great opportunity to grow and learn. Where their mistakes aren't magnified, right? Or if your mistakes magnified in fall camp, if you're trying to play, God bless you, if you're trying to play. And so we're excited about those guys getting here and seeing what they're about, and then didn't know that about you. So now you work through that as well. But at least you get to know that early on, and then you can start working on that and help them mold.
We went through it last year with head coach openings, and obviously there's some.
Yeah.
This year, and your name gets floated out for those. Whatever you can.
Erroneously, I might add.
Whatever you can share about that, and even more so, how that impacts, if it does, as far as your ability to retain the recruits that you brought in, and then pitch yourself in the program to prospective recruits that you're still out there going for.
Yeah. Well, we signed all 14 that we had, so it obviously didn't affect us one bit. But I had actually 2 calls. Something was released yesterday, as I said, it was erroneous, and I don't know who released that, but had 2 calls out of the 14 there and said, "Hey, Coach, is any of this true?" I said, "No," and that was the gist of the conversation. And so we made it clear to our recruits and the people in our program that we're here and what we're trying to build, and they believe us and trust us. And problem is sometimes when you win, and you're at a place that's has success, everybody thinks that you naturally want to just move up in some of these things, right? But when you're at a good place and you got a good thing going, you don't have to chase jobs, so to speak.
Are you able to flip that around into a sales pitch to an extent about the attractiveness of the program?
I think you're always selling your program. I mean, you're always just saying, hey, this is who we are. You're selling it all the time. I don't need, somebody wants you. I'm staying here because somebody else wants me to sell it. We want them to be part of Liberty. Doesn't need sold. It's special because of what we stand for. And the young people that want to be a part of it, they realize that, and they're excited about being a part of that. And whether I was the head coach or not, they would want to come because they believe in the mission of Liberty. That's how special the place is.
Can you talk to us about maybe the difference in signing day, just from the last, since you've been coaching? I'm sure just technology's changed, the day overall. What's it like now compared to your first signing day?
Well, it used to be just one in February, and you're praying to God you get to February because some guys commit to you have to hold on to them forever. And now with two, it's still an exciting day, but because of the portal, you don't see as many, I think, anxious coaches because there's not as many flips, right? Now you see some flips from some of these five-star guys, right? But the most part, guys that are committed to you, they stay committed because they understand that the scholarships now are hard to come by because of the way the portal and all the different stuff is. And so I don't want to say there's less pressure, but it doesn't feel as pressurized as days previous because of the way all the stuff's going on. But it's still an exciting day because you hope the future of your program at least this is a portion of them. There's 14 people that completely are bought into what you're about. You add those to the ones you brought in last year that you're excited about. Now you're building a good nucleus of a program that you hope they want to be a part of what you're building and be part of a championship program. And we'll supplement it with some other guys. But it's always an exciting day. But I would say maybe a little bit. I wasn't worried about it. Now, Devin Doyle, our director of recruiting, was probably sweating all night, worried about it. But him and the recruiting staff did a fantastic job, and we felt pretty confident about, even with all the commotion of yesterday, landing this group because they were bought into Liberty and they bought into the mission and the vision that we have for the program. And so I wasn't sweating it near as much that I normally do.
Coach was hoping to get your comments on the rest of the signings for you right now.
Sure.
The two wide receivers.
We got a time limit here? Okay. I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to go right now.
Two wide receivers, two linemen, and then the defensive.
Yeah, so let's go through. We'll go through it. We talked about the quarterback, talked about the two running backs, wide receivers. Coach Washington, Coach Harris, I think did an unbelievable job of identifying Bryce and Nas. Nas is right down the street here in Greensboro, and Bryce is from Florida. Two guys that are electric with the football and really can do a lot of dangerous things. Great route runners. They're both big, more physical type guys from that standpoint. Nas is obviously bigger than Bryce, but they're both, very, very talented, great young men, and we're rebuilding that receiver room. Obviously, you have to bring in some older guys and different things because of what you lost, but we're really trying to build that receiver room with young people. And I thought our two guys that we signed last year, our freshmen we signed last year, are going to be good players. We feel really confident about Bryce and Nas coming in, and that they have a chance if they pick it up. Their physical tools are ready to go. We'll see how they do the other pieces of it, but I think we're doing a good job of building that receiver room, building it on a foundation to where hopefully we get to the point we got a lot more. I'll use the term homegrown than having to go out constantly and try to supplement what we don't have. And so really we like those guys. I think they're going to give us something there and really explosive. I talked about the running backs. O-line wise, obviously offensive lineman is always a huge need. You're always trying to get guys that can come in. And what we targeted this year with Brandon and Gabe is we wanted some bigger guys. Gabe is a guy that can play guard tackle. We're going to play him at guard. I mean, he walked in here right now. He looks like a mountain. But man, he loves football. He's tough. Fits the profile that Coach Durkin really wants. And Brandon from here in Virginia, Brandon's an athletic big dude. Now he plays basketball. Thinks he's a basketball player. We talked him into being a football player, but he is athletic. Comes from an unbelievable family. He's hungry to get better. I think he's got a high ceiling. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to again build your foundation from the high school class up, and we signed some guys last year, you signed some more, and you keep building that. And again, hopefully you don't have to continually bring in older people, you start building it from the end. And so I like those two guys there. And corner's obviously a big need. You'll see us probably going after some more older corners because that's still a big need for us. But Coach Waits identified, Mikey and Uriah early on. Those were guys visited in the summer, and they're both extremely talented. And at corner, you got to have confident guys. They're both confident guys. One's really long, Mike is a big old long corner. Uriah is quick. They come from very, very well-known high school programs. One in Alabama, one in Georgia. I mean, very well-known high school programs compete for state championships. So they played at high level. They compete at high level. They're competing against really high-level talent consistently, and they're very confident. Corners, you need confidence. You need some humbleness, but you need confidence, and they're going to come in with a lot of confidence, and we like that. And they're athletic, and we got to continue to build that room up. And lastly, I think it's a D-line. We got 4 of them. All right, so Coach McGee does a fantastic job. Coach Krantz also coaches our jokers. One of these young men's a joker. So Jeff Harrison, right here from Rocky Mount, he's a joker for us, which is rush end, and got a big future ahead of him. Plays the game the right way. Sam Cohen from In-State, from Richmond, is a D lineman who had some opportunity to go some different places. Wanted to be close to home, wanted to be close to mom, loved it here. Sam texts me every week about something. Love the young man. He's awesome. But he's going to be a really good player. He's going to be a great leader. He cares about football. He checks with us every week. How's the team doing? Like, he's one of those guys. Like, how's the team? And so I'm excited about him. Gavin comes from a really good program in there in Georgia. Somebody we'd identified for a long time, been recruiting for a long time. He'll be a 3 technique. He's going to be a big boy. Very explosive. Really is a technique guy already. And so excited about him. And then Cam Collins is somebody that we got on late. We recruited for a while, and he was committed to somewhere else, and the other place decided they wanted to go after a portal guy, and he was out there, and it's somebody we'd built a relationship with. And he visited us for the Western Kentucky game, and we'd been on him for a while, but he'd obviously with somebody else in there when the door opened back up. The relationships that Coach McGee had built with him was something that he remembered, and we got a chance there. And he's we believe going to be a high level player, and because he's got just great tools, and as a young man already in high school, and the way he's able to play with his hands and stuff you can't teach, and so excited about him.
Safety, Davion D.
Oh, I forgot safety. Sorry, I was looking over. Davion is from Florida. Davion actually got hurt his senior year, but high-level player, played throughout his junior year, got hurt, I think, week 3 of his senior year there, so he missed the majority of his senior year. But somebody that if he didn't get hurt was all-state, high level recruit, a lot of talent. He's got to come off this injury, but he's somebody we believe when he comes back healthy from an injury, he can give us a difference maker back there in the secondary. He's got his video shows that type, and he's a good young man. He cares about football, excited about being at Liberty, and somebody once he overcomes that energy. He's had some adversity he's faced, and he's always overcame it. So he's the right fit for us.
I'm sure this depends on the player, but how much time and energy do you spend trying to re-recruit and retain some of the guys who are in the portal?
Well, you're spending a lot. I mean, now some of them have their minds made up for a while, so you're not changing theirs. They've known for a while, and so you thank them, and the ones that have been here, and you don't. Some guys need to go in. Maybe they're not planning all those, and you wish them luck and all those, right? Hey, they come to you, and hey, I'm not playing as much as I want to, or vice versa, and they choose to want again for better opportunity. That's fine. Some guys have been here a couple years, and they feel like it's their opportunity to go to the next step. And there's some that you think, man, I don't know if this is the right move for you, but some it is, and you'd like to keep them all. I mean, truthfully, you want to keep them all, but that's just not possible in today's world. It's just not going to happen. There's too many people involved with all those decisions, and so for anybody that's went in, I'm thankful for their time here and what they've done for the program, and. You look at the guys that have been here at least a couple years and some longer, the number of Power 4 wins they've had, the number of, being conference champion and the bowl, all the different things. So there's a lot of positive those guys have done. And so, as a competitor, you want to, don't go. But also sometimes there can be life-changing elements outside of that for some of them, and you gotta be thankful for what you got of them. If you get in today's world, if you get a guys for a couple of years, that's probably a win. And I'd love to have them 3 years and longer. But if you can get young men that transfer into you and they stay for a couple of years, that's a win, and you hope they do well, and you hope and I've shared with the ones that I've visited with that have left, that I hope they've got a great foundation. They carry out the things they've learned here beyond the football field. I hope that's what you hope happens. They carry it with them, and they always represent, Liberty, and you hope they're proud of being a part of it. And some will, some might not. You hope they all do, though.
Do you anticipate going after a quarterback in the portal?
Yes, we will. I think we have to, just because you don't have anybody really on your roster now that's played a lot, and so you'd like to have somebody that's played some to come in for competition. And maybe that's one, maybe that's two, and so we're actively obviously pursuing that. Our quarterbacks know that. We've already met with them, and so we'll go after one for sure, and hopefully we can find somebody that's played, that's has some experience, that can come in and battle our guys that are here. I think we've got some good guys that are here already, but injuries and different things, you can't have enough. And so we potentially go after two, depending on what those two look like, if that makes sense. And I think just in portal in question, we got to go after some O-linemen because we lost some O-linemen, right? We'll go after probably some D-linemen because we lost some D-linemen. We'll go after some receivers because we're losing some receivers. So anybody that's went in, you can expect us to go that same position group, go after it hard. And there's a bunch going in, and the difference is I think there's going to be quite a few now. There's going to be so many in the spring as well because the rosters go to 105. And so there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to have a place to play at certain places, and so this will be the recruiting won't be finished until probably whenever the first day of summer school is, whatever that day is this year. And so we got to keep working that, we got to keep working it, and we will. But we'll go after it and try to supplement as many positions as we can with some older guys, And that could also be some junior college guys, too. A lot of the junior college guys, we've been recruiting some. Some of them choose not to sign on the sign a date, some wait. They have a longer period to sign, so they can wait, sign up until January. So there's some junior college young men that we've been on that we're recruiting that could potentially be part of this as well, depending on how things shakes down. So you could see a mix of junior college / portal as we fill out this portion of the class, and hopefully you keep. The roster that you have, hopefully you keep those. Hopefully there's not many more that, go in. There might be. Some people, some people tell you no, they're not doing anything, and then after the bowl game, they miraculously show up and say they want to go somewhere else, and so we'll figure out how that works out.
Just because you mentioned the roster limits that are coming, how difficult was it to navigate recruiting? You think about the portal and high school, and then you got to think about that with the roster you already have.
It's not right now necessary because you don't have to get there till July. The hard part about that is like right now we had 117 people on our team. So if we have 117 people next year by June, we got to tell 12 people, hey, you can't be a part of the team anymore. And so that's where it really going to get tough. Is like what's that percentage look like? Do you keep this number of O-linemen? Keep this because with 117 or 120, we knew what that we're going to have this many linemen, we're going to have this. You knew that. Now you got to cut 12. Where does that come from? And there's going to be some good quality people that are very valuable. Maybe they don't play as much, but they're really valuable to a program that you might have to say, hey, we can't have you no more. And then now they got to go try to find another spot, and maybe they can't because of the limit. And that's the hard piece about all this stuff. And I understand why they're doing that, but that's the hard piece that people have, young men that have worked, and a lot of our guys have been tryout guys that have come on and worked their tail off and been really valuable for us, and their dream is to play college football, and they're some of them have put themselves in positions to play for us, and played some, and some are just unbelievable teammates and do a great job of giving our guys looks to get them ready each week, and so there'll be a point that we're going to have to make those decisions, and those will be tough. Those won't be easy. But you have you have what your scholarship mindset is and what you're doing there, and then how do you supplement from there, and what's that look like? Having 15 less, roughly 12 to 15 less, it's going to be a little challenging.
Coach, Sunday you find out your bowl destination. Does the practice window when you start practice shift depending upon when that game is going to be?
Well, you can, since you're in one, you can practice as much as you want. What we did, we came back Monday and we had a meeting and we lifted and did a little conditioning, and then we practiced today. We'll practice tomorrow, and then we'll lift Friday, and then we find out. I think Sunday at some point is when we find out our bowl assignment, and then what you'll do there is, depending if it's late or early, then you'll have your schedule ready. Our finals start next week, so we'll have to adjust around finals. And so, the plan right now, regardless of when we play, the plan right now is to practice next Monday and Tuesday for sure. If it's a later game, then those will be fundamentals. If it's an earlier game, then those will start to be preparing for our opponent. And we'll adjust around, our final schedule from some of those things. But you want to make sure that one, you want to practice because it gives your younger guys, extra reps. So like today we did a lot of fundamental stuff, so they get fundamentally better. And we'll do the same tomorrow. Once we get to Monday, then we'll start hitting back some more. We'll do some different things against each other, and then. Put the game plan together depending on when the game is and go from there. If it's a later game, then we'll have more fundamentals, try to get better. If it's an earlier game, then we'll get to it quickly. But I think there's a benefit to some of those. But you want to win the game, so.
Coach, when you were introduced 2 years ago, you had mentioned that Liberty was what you wanted to be your final stop.
Mm-hmm.
And when your name gets brought up in the rumor mill like that, is there ever any consideration to listening to outside offers, or are you still locked in at this?
No, I think you always listen. I think that's you want to see what other people are doing. You want to see because you all have I think as a coach. You're competitive, right? That's why we coach. We're all competitive, and so I think anytime there's other opportunities that somebody wants to talk with you, I think you always take those. Doesn't mean you want to leave. I think it's always wise to listen because you never know. Liberty might not want me anymore at some point, right? But my family and I and our coaches, and we're excited about what we're building here. Ian's done a fantastic job of giving us opportunity to be successful, and you want to be able to compete for a championship every year, and close this year, didn't get that done, and so it drives you to want to get back, and we know, especially with the way college football is going now, it's good to be at a place that sees that and understands the changes, and they want to help you through that and guide that and give you the opportunity to still be successful, and that's all you can ask. So we'll go win this bowl game and get to 9 wins. We've never had back-to-back seasons of 9 wins ever. If somebody's won 9, they've never been able to do that again. So, what did we win last year? 13. And so, if we can get to 9, that's a big deal. And so it's important, and then we can build off of that. And hopefully we make a run of winning 10 more for a little while. That's the goal.
I have one question. 3 recruits on this class coming from the state of Virginia. All of them big, beefy guys in the line and the ends. What did the state really show you guys in the recruiting?
Yeah, it was good. Once we've gotten here last year and really got into the recruiting piece, you want to recruit your home base. I think that's important. You want to get the best that you can. Virginia is a great state for football. Got some really, really good high school coaches and high school programs. And so you want to do everything you can to start here and work out, right? And the more that we've had success, the more that the brand gets out, the more that, hopefully home state guys want to be a part of what you're doing. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we signed 3 last year. What did we sign? 2 or 3 from Virginia last year? I can't remember,
I think
2. 2. I think it's 2. I was trying to think of Eric and the other one. But and so you keep building like that, pretty soon you average that every year. You're going to have 15 to 20 guys that's your roster, and then once you continue to do that, you hopefully you can build it. We obviously got to recruit our footprint. It's basically the Virginia, Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, I guess, a little bit. But anytime we can get somebody from this state, what I've learned is they love ball, they're coached pretty well, and they like being around home. And so that's a good deal in these days.